Get ready to witness the exciting adventures featuring the most adorable pink-haired killing machine that you've ever seen in your lives in The Violence Action, a Netflix original, written and directed by Tochiro Roto. I hope I pronounced that name right. Pretty certain I'm probably going to get some of these names wrong. I do apologize. They've done TV as well as a couple movies, and this is also written by Itaru Ira. The Itaru era. I love that era. It's just like the Ruthless Aggression era, and if you're a non-wrestling fan, you have no idea what I'm talking about. This is based on the comic book / manga series of the same name by Renji Asai, named after the Asai Moonsault from Ultimo Dragon. Ah, boy, there's another wrestling reference. Ultimo Dragon. Great talent. Really, really nice guy. Can't believe I met him at an indie show nearly 4 years ago, and also by Shin Sonata. So I'm going to say right now, I have no idea the in references are packed into this movie. I really have no idea how close this is to the manga series. I went in completely blind, and it's a colorful, light-hearted experience for the most part, though there are some serious moments, but it just has this light, whimsical feel, despite the fact there's a whole bunch of blood splatter and a whole bunch of Yakuza influence and the adorable pink-haired assassin Kay that just basically has absolutely no fear. She's a college girl and an assassin, and she's just going to take over the world. She's going to do whatever to save, well, her friends and just carry out missions and everything. And there's also a ramen shop owned by the boss, owned by a girl that doesn't even look like she's out of high school, but nevertheless, she is the boss. There's a crazy, metal-haired helmet-wearing guy for some reason that's influenced by Elvis. I assume that's a reference to the manga series. And he drives them around, and it's just fun and ridiculous. And also there's a Yakuza boss that likes to make dad jokes. This is really, really bizarre, and I assume if you are a fan of the series, you will get a lot more references than I did. But since I went in completely blind, I ended up having a lot of fun with this. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It definitely is for hardcore fans, or at least fans that have a good idea what this series actually is about and the tones and everything. And if I tried to pronounce any of the names of the cast members, I would absolutely just, butcher them because I'm not very good. But I will say the actress who plays Kay, she does a very good job. And as far as having a centralized focus on adorable pink-haired assassins, this does pretty well. Like, you get why somebody would be conflicted about certain things, especially if they leave their emotions at the door, but then that sinks in when they start to have feelings for a certain person that may or may not be that bad of a person, working as a bookkeeper for one of the Yakuza gangs. And also there's this one kid that has a bowl-shaped haircut, starts working at the ramen shop. Watanabe, he likes Kay, and there's all this really, really weird stuff going on, and it's all bright and colorful and bloody. And there's also this villain, Michitaka, who he kind of reminds me of, and I can't remember the name right now, but anybody remember Suikoden 5? Remember the hench guy that just you could not beat down no matter how hard you try? You could beat him, you could blow him up, you could stab him repeatedly, and nothing worked. Kind of reminded me of that guy. And also Yakuza. A lot of Yakuza talk during this because they're upset about money laundering and everything and all the hierarchy and whatever. And it's just really colorful and weird and bizarre and bloody and lighthearted, yet also serious. And I had a good time watching it. I'm not saying I had a great time, because again, I was confused about what the fuck was actually going on in this movie, but it ended up being more fun than I expected. And as far as assassin movies go, this one, while it does have the typical cliches, it does play up. It plays up some of them to the hilt, and also has a little bit of fun twisting a few things around. Like, you think things are going to go this way, and oh, this one villain just seems absolutely unstoppable, and then they go back to the humor, like the Yakuza boss making the lighthearted dad jokes, because he just has fun doing that. Again, could be cultural differences, could be tonal shifts, could be stuff that doesn't translate to American audiences, but this ends up being quite a bit of fun, and that's really all I have to say there without getting into spoilers. It's on Netflix. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, and I'm sure there are better movies out there. There is another assassin movie out of Japan called Baby Assassins that I probably should check out before the year is up, but I ended up liking this movie for the most part. Again, I have some issues not really getting the full references according to the source material, not knowing how close it is to the source material. the character motivations seem a little bit bizarre. Like, people are able to do things and they're suddenly just giving up because who gives a shit? It's a little bit uneven, a little bit odd, but it doesn't end up being that bad of a ride. It ends up being pretty fun overall. It's breezy. There are a few parts where I think maybe they stretched it a little bit too thin. This movie might have been better at about 95 minutes instead of a beefy 110. But that being said, has even a nice little, tie into the end where we might possibly maybe get a sequel down the road. Who knows? But it's on Netflix if you want to check it out, so feel free. But yeah, I'm going to get into spoilers for whatever that's worth, for whatever I was able to understand going on. And I apologize to any fans of the series. I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't understand it. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Again, I enjoyed the movie, but there we go. So let's get into spoilers. So basically, the head guy of this one member, or this one group, the Denma Gumi, basically a powerful, section of the Yakuza, their leader is going to go away for a while, and he's got a couple sons. Toronto, who ends up being kind of a good guy. He helps out Kay when she can't get on the bus. He pays for both of them. She'll pay him back at one point. She's a few yen short, and they keep running into each other. And Zaru, who has just this weird, 70s Elvis type hair for some reason. I don't get it. That had to have been a manga thing. And then there was one point where the dad was upset and he was just throwing, treats at the koi fish, and they threw the box in there. Don't assault the koi fish. What did they do to you? He's like, they were being so coy. Yeah, I make bad jokes too, so I actually identified with that quite a bit. There is one actress in there that's also a part of the assassin group. Her name's Daria. La 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 la. Yuri Ota. She is beautiful, beautiful. I mean, good lord. Feature her in more movies. She has a good look about her. And there's this one guy, Kareko, I believe, was the name, and he just was absolutely insane. Batshit insane. He ended up killing, or paralyzing, one of Toronto's friends, or maybe his brother. I'm not exactly totally sure. Again, certain things just kind of got blown by. And he's pretty much the most vicious one besides Michitaka, who is pretty much the most vile misogynist that you could ever hope for. And also, he's apparently unkillable, because he just keeps doing... You could punch him, he'll just shake it off. He's also got weird gray hair. And as things go on, we just keep getting... seeing these characters interact with each other. People are upset about money laundering in the Yakuza. They want to get at Toronto because he took some money and actually did it as a way to draw the real thieves out, I think. And again, a little hard to figure some of this out. It's a mostly simple plot, but also it requires you to know a lot about a manga series, and if people don't, they may be lost. They may be dancing in the dark, unlike that Bjork movie. So there's a lot of... The fights are pretty cool, the gunfire stuff. I do think that they rely on too many camera tricks and too many weird special effects, but maybe that might be just due to the manga influence again. And so what happens at one point is there's a fight. Kay finally feels some damage. That's a lot of damage. She gets attacked by Michitaka. He ends up hitting her with a nail gun. Firing a nail gun at her. Not hitting her with a nail gun. That'd be kind of pointless. And he punches some nails into her stomach, seemingly. But then she learns to live with them, and now she can break the rules and fight him, because the rules are the men are up here and the women are down here, but she's going to break those rules, I think. And then she starts fighting him and does this weird super slice thing all over him, like does this, where she's like defying time and physics, because everybody can defy time and physics here, and stabs him and kills him and does all that. Because why not? And then kicks him away, and so seemingly he's dead. And then there's this part on the dam where the remaining Yakuza people that are still around are going to kill Toronto and kill everybody. The remaining people there. And Toronto decides, hey, I'm going to take the boss man over. I'm going to take him over. It wasn't his father. I don't think it was his father. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. He decides, okay, hey, I have a bomb here, and I'm going to take you over. And then they fall off the dam that they're on into the water, obviously. Be a bit worried if it was drained on the other side. Then we just see their bodies twisting around and all this, and we would get the cool blowing up visuals. So they're dead. And Kay says, hey, wait a second. Zaru, I need 30 yen. That's to pay him back for the bus fare. And they talked about possibly going to New York at one point. That was something that he had talked about with his friend that had, or brother that had passed away, that ended up killing himself in the hospital. Really, really shameful. And he had talked to Kay about going to possible, or possibly going with her to, or with him to New York. So we find out that Michitaka somehow is still alive, ate ramen, even though the ramen is seen as not very good by other people. He really enjoyed it because apparently he's either dead or just injured, and this ramen heals him. Again, little weird. And Kay gets some various pictures from New York. It turns out that Toronto is still alive, I guess? People just survive whatever, I guess, until the movie decides that they can't. Again, the violent action is pretty good as far as a spectacle and as far as entertainment value. I didn't quite understand what the hell was going on, because again, don't understand the source material. But I had fun with it, and I'm going to give it a B, so there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rutland. I'll see you soon.